Hello, my name's Ammar Mirza. I am the proud chair of the Business Growth Board at the North East LEP, and I'm joined by
Colin Bell, the Business Growth Director, I should say the proud Business Growth Director at the North East LEP.
Great. And this is part two of a three-part series of Colin and I reflecting 1 year on from when the pandemic overtook us. Overcame us. Anyway, whatever it was, we're here. And Colin, in the first session, we talked about the reaction, the response. And in this session, we just wanted to talk a little bit more in detail of that through partnership working and specifically the type of initiatives that we'd started to develop through the Business Growth Board, but really have helped us not only during the last year, but are going to set us up for a safe and secure future, providing all of the foundations that we need strategically to support everybody locally. So just talk through, first and foremost, MIT, so Michigan Institute of Technology.
Yes, we've been working with MIT through and based on the Department of Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy on a program called the Regional Enterprise Accelerator Program, which ironically actually kicked off the week before everything was locked down. We were in London, a group of us from the Northeast on this MIT Regional Accelerator Program, and then the week after that we were locked down. So what MIT really helped us do was get a range of stakeholders together. So we had people from the investment community, entrepreneurs. So Ammar, you were involved, really, on that, from that, bringing that on entrepreneurial insights. We had people from education, government, etc., all involved in a program of activity to develop ideas on actually how we could respond and recover to the situation that we found ourselves in with COVID. So where that really has landed is developing a plan around actually how can we best support graduates. So one of the things that's happened through the amongst many other things through the pandemic is that obviously the jobs market's been weakened. So people actually leaving education, the kind of entering a weakened job market. So could enterprise and actually starting a business be a viable option for those? So there's a program of support that's kind of emerged through that work. And there's been lots of other things like that we've been working on, but really at the core of that's how we pulled those partners together to co-create those things.
No, absolutely. And actually, we've recognized through both the MIT REAP program, but also the broader activities, Colin, the three biggest enablers to business growth. So internationalization, we're currently working on a trade strategy for the Northeast. Yeah. We've got innovation. So there's a whole range of innovative type activities, including life science and the sectors that now your team and your board are responsible for, with the sector leads joining everything up, which is absolutely critical. And then the third one was digital transformation. And everything that we've done so with the basis that we're simplifying things, we're connecting things, but we're actually transforming things to make them more productive, easier to access. And talking about access, one final point that I wanted to touch upon is we're all worried about money, right? Whether that's personally or professionally. And some of the worries that businesses have is were historically access to finance. But we were quite fortunate to have kicked off some work around how to improve access to finance and pulling in key stakeholders. Just very, very briefly to talk me through that particular activity.
Yeah, so that, as you say, we were very fortunate that we had a access to finance task group set up, chaired by David Hicks from Deloitte. So, and a whole range of other people involved across the investment community in that. So what that really allowed us to do was look at the very specific challenges that businesses were facing through the pandemic, and obviously things like working capital, there were huge implications around that, but also in terms of some of the mechanisms that were put in place into the environment, like CBILS, the business interruption loan scheme, bounce back loans, all these sort of things. It gave us a real feel for how these things were in practice actually working, because round the table were a load of people, and again, reflecting on the business growth board, people who were actually applying for these things, and we're going through the experience. So having access to that was fundamental. So I remember one of the, which will remain nameless, but remember very early on, one of the business growth boards saying, we've gone for a CBILS loan and we've been asked for a personal guarantee. So our collective response to that was, well, that's not right in these situations. Let's lobby government for a change to that clause. So the next week that was removed, and that became a bit easier to access. So, and then similar discussions have led to the creation of things like bounce back loans and so on and so on and so forth. So I think having that collaboration, all those people who are working either, I suppose, facing the situation directly themselves or working with lots of businesses who are, has helped us really fine tune our response now, but also for the future.
Fantastic. And thinking about the future, we're going to call this session to an end. And you've been listening to Ammar and
Colin.
And we're going to be back for session 3 very, very shortly, looking to the future. Thank you.
Thank you.